for example, we say, are you deficient in anything? Well, we all are deficient in stuff, period. I'm not her one. I can't give you everything you want to desire. You can't give me everything I want to desire. It's by our humanity, we deficient in stuff. But that's not the reason I pursued polygyny.
Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Fatimah, Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships. I'm here with our husband, Coach Nazir.
Assalamu alaikum, peace.
Yeah, he can introduce himself. Absolutely. So this is a special video. Some have kind of indirectly requested this video because they've asked me questions that are designed for Coach Nazir. So I'm going to interview him using some of the questions that have been asked to me specifically throughout the years. As you guys may know, or if you're new, we are part of a family that is in polygyny. Coach Nyla practices polygyny, not me. Monogamously married to him, and so is my awesome co-wife, Coach Nyla. Again, for those of you that are new. So I'm going to ask him these questions. He does not know the questions I'm going to ask. This is not staged other than our backdrop right here. Now, with that being said, there's not many, but these are really, really great questions, and I'm going to ask them, and I'm going to be quiet so that he can answer them. Again, these questions are designed for Coach Nazir and Coach Nazir only. If it's another man who's practicing polygyny, his answers might be different. I have to say that because I've had some of my clients and just a few women say, well, my husband does it different. That's okay if he does it different, because he has to decide what he must do as a man for his specific family. So let's get into this interview. Welcome, Coach Nazir, to Outstanding Personal Relationships.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome.
Like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed.
Yes,
how about
absolutely. That's extremely important. And I was going to say that at the end, but I'm glad you said it
at the beginning before they dip out.
Get out the way before y'all dip. He's right. Okay, off we go. Question number 1, sir, is how much of a challenge was polygyny for you initially?
How much of a challenge was it for me? Well, it's hard to quantify that because there's unless you just say large or big, you know what I'm saying, big challenge, because there's dynamics you're not used to. You know what I'm saying? There are leadership requirements, there are other responsibilities that weigh on you with a family and stuff like that, you know, because again, we were married 15 years, had 6 children. So marrying again and polygyny adding more to my responsibilities already at the time is large, especially when you don't have any type of guidance or any type of strategy other than just some of the basics. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have any practical examples of how to follow in today's, day and time in a culture that's against it, where our religious leaders in particular have already failed us in teaching us how to do it, or they're not qualified when it comes to, psychology, behavioral development, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was one of the largest undertakings, but it is what it is. You got to be up for the challenge. So
I'm not going to agree or disagree because it's not for me to do that. With this interview, I want to give another little disclaimer. There's no wrong answers because, again, this is for Coach Nazir specifically to answer. So this is like one of the most burning questions. I know the answer because I've had to answer this question, but we're going to get it right from him here. So question number 2 is, was it my fault, or people have asked me, women, was it your fault he married again, or was I deficient in any way? So was it my fault that he married again?
People really already know the answer to this, all right? Because if you ask your husband or your man or whoever it may be, if you wanted to have multiple wives, you already say yeah. So they already know the answer to this, but they like to blame or put something on something so they feel better about themselves, women in particular. So, for example, we say, are you deficient in anything? Well, we all are deficient in stuff, period. I'm not her one. I can't give you everything you want to desire. You can't give me everything I want to desire. It's by our humanity, we deficient in stuff. But that's not the reason I pursued polygyny. You know, so people think, oh, something wrong with something deficient, can't you? Whatever it may be. No, that's just usually the person's fantasy, that's what it is. I mean, you ask a young guy, you could ask an old guy. You can ask a ball player, ask somebody broke, somebody wealthy. All right, I've only had maybe 1% of brothers that come and ask me about, you know, marrying another wife that are intrigued by it. You know, if they could, they would absolutely do it and have multiple wives. It's in us, we're designed that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's just natural. Now, whether or not somebody's qualified to do it or they want to do it in a moral fashion and do it by accepting the extra responsibility and accountability that goes with that, that's a whole different story. But no, I didn't marry, you know, because you were deficient in something and she's gonna make up for, like, it's a puzzle, I'm gonna put this together. No, that's just immaturity.
Girl, what's wrong with you?
Girl, polygamy. I'm hearing it everywhere. Polygamy this, polygamy that. Men want to be married to more than one wife. I'm sick of hearing it. Who want to be dealing with something like that anyway?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
What?
Well, I mean, if it's done right.
Who's doing polygamy right? Where can you even find how to do polygamy right anyway? What was that?
I heard that too.
What is this?
Wait a minute.
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored?
The practical no-nonsense guide to practicing polygamy right?
You heard that right. And if you want to get your copy shipped to your door, make sure you go to letstalkpolygamy.com so you can learn how to practice polygyny properly.
A lot of people want to do what Coach Nazir was saying and make all these excuses. Oh, it had to be this. Are you sick? Are you?
Make them feel better.
I had somebody ask me, did I have cancer once? I was like, damn, why I gotta have cancer? Because he wanted another wife. Anywho, this is not my interview. So question number 3, how did you overcome your challenges? It's 2-part. How did you overcome your challenges as a father and a husband in polygyny? So some of the judgments, did you care about them? Did you not care about them? Like,
I learned a long time ago not to care what other people think. What other people think, I ain't paying my bills, they're not taking care of the things I need to take care of, and other people are more concerned about themselves than we actually think they are thinking about us. So I didn't, so far as overcoming that judgment and other stuff from other people, if that was part of the question, I didn't have that concern. My concern came from being concerned about what my wives and children, of course, thought. You know what I'm saying? The way you overcome that is by demonstrating to the best of your ability, you as being a father, being intentional with your fatherhood, being a good husband and stuff like that. So other than them, I don't care. Mother, father, children, anybody, you know, outside of that specific circle of children or wives, it wouldn't matter. And even your children only go to a certain extent anyway, because they're young, their brains ain't even done maturing and stuff yet, and they don't make decisions for me.
Okay, good question, good answer. So yes, and I do shout out to all of our INTJs, the 16 personality type indicator. If you don't know what that is, you're not familiar, that's okay. But I know one thing about INTJs, and I love that about them. They really do not care about what people think about them. So that's facts. They don't make time for it, and I think that's great. This is another great question. However, again, it wasn't designed for me. It's designed for Coach Nazir. And this was asked by a subscriber. Did you think about me specifically when you married again? Because this is a good one, because I think a lot of people think men that do practice polygyny, or they want to, they don't think at all, and they just run and they just go. They don't give any thought to anything. I know what my answer would be, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, of course. See, I did a video on that about calculated risks. Mm-hmm. Where men have to make calculated risks every single day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you think about it and you see some ways people do it or don't do it is because either they did want to hurt or didn't want to deal with the fire or they're uncomfortable trying to have to go through the heat. So I did a video on that too. Walk through the fire. You know what I'm saying? If you're already married and your wife doesn't know, for example, that's not best practice. But of course we do. We have emotions, we have thoughts, we have fears and concerns and all that kind of stuff. So we have to make the calculated risk to determine, you know, what would be best or what won't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course. I mean, yeah.
Okay. I mean, typically that judgment or that assumption, I should say, comes from wives.
Of course.
Men, I've found through their wives, they don't go there. They just don't go there. They already know. They think about all of it, not just parts of it. So, okay, next question. Oh, this is a good one. What was one of your most powerful memories in polygyny, good or bad? There's no wrong answers. Again, this is Coach Nazir's experience in polygyny.
One of the most powerful.
Yeah.
Being able to really establish our family meetings where that's my family, everybody's there, everybody's participating, everybody's learning and growing and being intentional, and to know that this is not just for us right here, right now. I'm trying to put things in effect right now that will last for generations. So for my children and their children that I would never ever meet, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that type of thing, and knowing that outside of the biggest thing, which is accepting Islam, and choosing that is the foundation because of my philosophy is, you know, faith, family, finances. So now I choose Islam, that changes everything. And have the ability to return to the same way of life as my ancestors. And prayerfully, my children understand the significance of that, and they teach their children and their children and their children. You get continual blessings and stuff that way. So seeing that and really thinking that, I think I was maybe one time I was in front of the room or something at a family meeting and seeing the whole family and stuff like that being on the same page. So.